Alright, let's look at the homework 3.3, problem number 6. Alright, so first let's find the relative max and the relative min. Alright, so let's take the derivative. First I'm going to rewrite it as x times quantity 21 minus x to the 1/2 power. Right? So let's take the derivative. So g prime of x is equal to, derivative of the first guy is 1 times the second, so 21 minus x raised to the 1/2 power, plus x times, right, derivative of the second guy, so it's a 1/2, and the quantity 21 minus x, and the subtract 1 from the power, so it's negative 1/2 power, and then multiply by derivative inside, which is negative 1. Alright, so this is going to be, let's see, so we have a square root of 21 minus x minus, let's see, x over 2 square root of 21 minus x. Alright, so this is equal to, alright, take the common denominator, so it's a 2 square root of 21 minus x. Alright, so if you multiply with 21, so you have, let's say 2 times 21, so it's a 42 minus 2x minus x. Alright, so this is going to be, let's see, 42 minus 3x over 2 square root of 21 minus x. Alright, so then you can pull out 3, so it's a 3 times, if you pull out 3, 1, so 14 minus x over 2 square root of 21 minus x. Right? So we set that equal to 0, so you can see that we can find the critical number. So x is equal to 14. So this is the critical number. Alright, so since we need to find the inflection point later, so we need the second derivative. So let's go ahead and find the second derivative. Alright, so we have g double prime, right, of x is equal to, alright, so you have a 3 over 2 is just a number, so I'm going to just put the 3 over 2 outside. Then I'm going to apply the quotient rule. Right, square the bottom. So we already took care of 3 over 2. Right, so 3 over 2 is already taken care of. Right, square the bottom, guys. So it's you get the 21 minus x. Right, then derivative of the top is negative 1 times the bottom, which is square root of 21 minus x, minus top is 14 minus x, and then the derivative of the bottom, which is let's see, it's 1/2 quantity 21 minus x, subtract 1 from the power, and then multiply by derivative inside, so it's negative 1. Right, so we got that. Then to simplify, let's see, 3 over 2 is still there. Right, to make our life easier, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by, let's see, square root of 21 minus x. So I'm going to multiply by, oops, I want to use a different color. Let's see here. Multiply by square root of 21 minus x on top and bottom, 21 minus x. So then we get, right, 3 over 2 is just there, right? Then denominator is, you have 21 minus x to the 3 halves power, because 1 plus 1 half. Right, then here, if you once you distribute this guy to the first term here, you're just gonna get let's see, negative 21 plus x. Alright, if you distribute this guy there, so you can cancel that guy because that's just a reciprocal. So you're gonna get let's see, so we're gonna have let's see, it's gonna be a negative and also a double negative, so it's gonna be plus. Alright, plus, and you have a 1 half, so it's gonna be 7 minus 1 half x. Right. So I'm gonna actually, maybe I should multiply top and bottom. I'll probably do it later. 3 over 2. All right. Then you have 21 minus x, 3 over 2. All right. So it's gonna be, let's see, negative 21 plus 7 is a minus 14. Yeah. Let's see, 14. Alright, so x minus 1 half x is 1 half x. Alright, I'll probably multiply top and bottom. I'll pull out the 1 half. So you have a 3 over 4. Then we have x minus, if you pull out 1 half, so it's going to be 28. Alright, then you have 21 minus x to the 3 halves power. Right? So that's the second derivative. Right, so let's do a second derivative test. We found that this x equals 14. So it's a g prime of 14. I just want to know if it's positive or negative. So if you plug in 14 here, so numerator is going to be negative. Denominator is going to be positive, so it's going to be negative. Right? So which means that, actually this is a second derivative. Alright, so we know that g of 14 is going to be, is a relative. Alright, so it's a, let's say facing down, curving down, so concave down, so it's going to be a relative max. Alright, so let's see. So I know that the relative max is at 14. And the relative min does not exist. Alright, if you plug in 14, you get g of 14 is what? The g of 14 is 14 times the square root of 21 minus 14 is, let's see, 7. Right, square root of 7. So it's a 14 square root of 7, right? And the critical number, it would be, let's see, we set this guy equal to 0. Then you see that actually this is going to give you x equals 28. But the 28 is not even in the domain, because if you put 28 there, so you have a negative inside the square root, so there is actually no inflection point. Does not exist. Right? So let's type it in. So we got 14 comma 14 square root of 7. And let's see, local min does not exist, and the inflection point does not exists. And the picture wise, let's see, it's a 14. So this is going to give you a maximum there. So that looks promising. And the other ones, they give you a local minimum. So that's the only picture there. So let's check the answer. Submit for testing. Alright, I came back and looks like we got this one correctly and the picture correctly as well. Alright, that's it. I hope that this was clear.